So Mike, how's it going with GatePath? What's going on with that?
It's not going great. You sent me over there, and I've been working with Bob, and I've been working with him for like 3 months, and he doesn't do anything. He sits me down at a computer and pulls up applications and has me fill them out online. Half the jobs I don't think are even, hiring right now, and it just seems like I'm jumping through hoops. I'm not getting anything out of it. What I'd really like to do is maybe get some kind of training. Everyone I talk to says there's nothing out there right now. So everyone keeps saying, you're really good at video games, you're good with computers, go be a video game designer. And I think that's what I was born to do. I'm definitely good at video games and good with computers. And, Bob's just, nothing's happening. So I don't know. I think that's what I need to be doing. I think that's where I should be.
It's almost like the whole GatePath is, you're feeling it's kind of almost a waste of time for you, and it's not being as helpful as you were hoping it was going to be for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought vocational rehabilitation is supposed to help people get jobs. And I feel like you guys just kind of threw me to the wolves and said, let's get rid of you for a few months and hope something happens. I really feel like I deserve some training, and I feel like what you guys did to me was wrong. I know GatePath is just not the place for me.
Almost like a setup.
Yeah, like you're giving me off. The government's just pushing me around to different places.
And you want to feel like we're really kind of engaged in supporting you and kind of goals that you have for yourself.
Yeah, that's all I ask. I thought that's what vocational rehabilitation was about.
Yeah, and we can talk, whatever would be most helpful for you, we can either kind of talk about what would be most helpful from a VR perspective, or we can kind of focus on what would be most helpful for you from here. What do you think would be most helpful?
Well, I'm a big fan of, what would be most helpful for this guy.
Okay.
And I think that would be some training. I think I'm an excellent video game designer. I think, I test games now. I think that's the place for me. It's where I want to be. And all these jobs that I'm applying for, fast food or janitorial, I mean, I'm better than that. That's not what I should be doing.
What about the whole video game thing, I mean, really kind of works for you, that it's just like, that's my passion, that's what I love to do? What is it about it?
Well, you give me one, I'll beat it, and I'll beat it quick. And I know the insides and outs. I create video games on computers. It's not the high-tech stuff yet, but I know I can get there. My parents say I play a lot of video games. My friends say I'm really good at it. It just makes sense to me. I enjoy doing it, and everyone says do what you enjoy.
What about it do you enjoy so much?
I don't know. Just being successful. Beating levels. Knowing that I'm the best, or I'm getting something down, and achieving something at the end. There's nothing you can't do. It's awesome.
That motivates you. I mean, I can even tell by the look in your face when it's like you nail a level, or you figure out something that's unlock a different level or things like that. That gets you going.
Yeah, and I'll beat my friends. I'm quicker than them. We'll play online, and I'll kill them like so many times, and it's awesome.
It's obvious, Mike, that you like to be the best at whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and I am, especially with video games.
With the whole kind of with the some of the testing that was done around kind of your academic skills, what are your thoughts about that? Because there is this part of you that really likes to excel, and it's like you like to be the best and achieve, and I want some training and things like that. And then on the academic side, you've had some struggles around that. So when we're kind of talking about the training, that was kind of the big concern that you and I talked about before, is it's like, there's part of this learning barrier that you have. And so what do you see when you kind of put those things together?
I think high school was kind of a joke for me. I think I could totally do well if I wanted to, but, I had other things going on. I didn't like most of my teachers. I knew half the stuff in the books, so I just focused on what I thought I needed to focus on. And I know I can do college. I know I can do well. And I know I can be a video game designer. It's just high school. If you know this stuff, you're not going to go over it again and again and again.
Okay. So let's play this out. Let's say that if it was something that was like, wow, this is an awesome idea for Mike. We can put this together into a plan. Let's kind of walk through what kind of best case scenario is. Like, you freaking knock it out of the park. Like, you start semester. Tell me kind of how it plays out from there. Kind of best case scenario. What happens?
So when I start school?
Yeah, right from school and going through the whole school process.
I start school, I go to class, I pass tests. 4 years later, I'm a video game designer.
Sweet. Yeah. Nice. And so you're just kind of ace all your classes and just kind of cruising through and things like that.
Yeah, I think if I apply myself, it's not going to be a problem.
Okay. And then you get out, and like kind of right out of the gate, you get hooked up with, Capcom or one of the big ones, and you're off and running and designing games.
Yeah, because I think in school, you kind of create some games on your own, and I figure I'll send them off, and someone will give me a call and want me to make games for them.
Just kind of spending part of your college time getting creative and starting to show people what you can do as you're learning some new skills, putting those into action and kind of showing people what you can actually do once you're getting kind of this training you're hoping for.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of create games now, on a very like on calculators and stuff like that, and I'm sure I'll be doing that in classes and stuff. And yeah,
Some good skills around that.
yeah, it sounds like a perfect track.
Perfect. So let's look at the flip side too. So what's the absolute worst case scenario? So Voc Rehab puts money into you first semester. What do you think kind of worst case scenario could be?
I get a couple B's.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do awesome.
Okay. So it's just like a couple B's, and then next semester couple B's, and kind of go through which are good grades.
When I try, I get A's. I mean, when I want to, I get A's. So I'm being pretty modest when I say B's.
Okay. So there's no doubt in your mind. I mean, you're pretty clear about your academic skills. There isn't as much around kind of your history or any of the files that we have around your education that shows as much of that. But you're really clear that as long as you're dedicated, you really cruise. You kind of lock in, do what you need to do. And so when we're talking kind of worst case scenario, it's almost beyond your comprehension to even get a C, a D, or even not even pass a class.
Well, you throw a few math classes in there, maybe there's a C plus. Okay. So but yeah, I'll do well.
This is great. What I like about this kind of a dialogue is it helps me kind of see where you're coming from, and you have such a great assessment of your skills. And then, so as we're kind of looking at it together, and I'm looking at it, I think worst case scenario, it's not out of the range. I've worked with lots of different people, and you're not in that same category with them. But what would be the situation if you came in and you'd flunked a class? Like we'd kind of funded this kind of situation for you. You flunked out. Got a couple of D's. Kind of the reports back from the professors were poor attendance, wasn't being able to make it. What would you kind of think of kind of a next step from there would be?
I don't know. I guess I'd ask you. That's your job, but I don't think that would happen. If it did, I'd say, let's find out why and work through it. But I think anything that has to do with video games, I'm gonna do awesome.
Yeah, the first thing I think of, Mike, is that you're really motivated. And you've got some skill sets. You're getting good feedback from people that know you really well. This is something could work for you. And then when you're talking about the Voc Rehab side, stuff that we need to do, the thing that I think of is that if this fits for Mike and he cruises through this and it lines up, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to pursue this. It fits with, kind of where some of your barriers or challenges are for your disability. So I think you could hook up with that. The VR side of it is, if he trips and falls and wipes out, then what do we do? That's the part that it's like, that's where VR has to step in and make a decision. And so those are the things that I think if we're clear up front, I want to support you in what's going to be helpful for you. And as long as you're doing what you need to do, and it doesn't matter to me how close you get to the edge, but as soon as a foot starts falling off the edge, then we need to pull back kind of our resources and rethink what's going on. Anything below like even C's is getting way too close to the edge. It's like, what's going on here? So I just want you and I to be clear up front so you can make the best decisions for yourself. So what are your thoughts about that?
I know I can do it.
Okay.
I know I'll do awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's something we can start working on, looking at kind of best program for you then.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.